logistics and what to expect in 2023. Well, joining us today to speak about that, Craig Henry, U.S. Industry Manager, Intralogistics at Siemens. Craig, it's always great to see you. Welcome.
Thanks, Russell. Good to see you again.
Greg, if we look at, short term and medium term, perhaps long term throughout 2023, in logistics, in intralogistics, what do you see going on? What do you see happening in the United States? Walk us through that.
A lot is happening, and there's a lot of confusing messages happening. You may have heard of this new app called ChatGPT. It's an AI, give me the answers kind of app. I actually put this question to it, and I think it gave an incorrect answer. It was saying that everything was rosy and everything was good, and things are in a growth mode. Let's break it down. Short term, venture capital is down 33% from last quarter, like Q3 to Q4, 50% down from 2021. So there is money, but it's not flowing like it used to. What this means in capital expenditures for startups, particularly robotic startups, there's a lot more due diligence. It's not going to be as easy money as it used to be. Having said that, the robotic and automation market is absolutely exploding because of the labor gap. So in the short term, what we're going to see is smart companies are going to be investing. We are in a recession, an inflationary period. We all know this. This is the time. This is the winter where you hunker down, and as corporations, we are in a state, if we're smart, of investing and getting ready for spring. We will come out of it. And from what I'm seeing medium term is that the supply chain crisis will continue likely through 2023. It's probably going to get worse from the time of this to through the middle of 2023. But I think we'll be seeing daylight 2024 Q1. And that will be the time for what we have planted to grow and flourish in the automation space. So you mentioned intralogistics and logistics. Both are in a growth mode. Both are facing the challenge of the labor gap, which is a whole other discussion.
What a great drill down, quite frankly, of what we can expect to see throughout the rest of this year, 2023. Well, if we could talk about, among all of the challenges, what might be the biggest, most important challenge, economic or otherwise, that the industry is going to have to deal with, in this year. How would you categorize that? What would you say that is?
Well, labor is absolutely number one.
Yeah.
We have the two factors of COVID and what they call the COVID paradox. We drew this huge gap of labor, this need for labor, with baby boomers leaving the workforce, with a culture that is moving away from work, pulling a gap. And on top of that, I just read actually this morning a statistic that said 47% of employees are not willing to go above and beyond in their jobs. And that is an all-time high number, which is to say people aren't as motivated as they used to be. So getting things done, talent, the workforce is number one. In our industry, that is why you're seeing from intralogistics point of view, a massive move that's been coming for years, by the way, toward automation and robotics. And for logistics, the automation of a self-driving vehicle. That's years away from being actually implemented in a big way, but we have to do, as I said, we have to invest now. This is the time.
This is interesting because we're hearing that companies are putting more and more into initiatives to make working for them, frontline workers, for instance, to make it interesting for them, to be able to recruit them, to retain them, et cetera, more flexible hours and this and that, whatever it is they want. And yet we still have this shortage. And at the same time, you're saying we have a confluence of very difficult things, inflationary pressure, which means that we don't have or don't want to invest in those technologies that we do want to have and we need to have because we don't have the workers. It really is on some level an exciting period, but it's fraught with a lot of uncertainty, no doubt about it.
Exactly. We are having to focus in, and it's going to cull the herd, and those who are great are going to do better. I think that also it's important to note that with this labor gap, throwing money at the problem hasn't really solved it.
Yeah.
And hence, we're going to have to be smart about technologies that are going to make automation happen.
Okay, so Dr. Henry, I'm going to ask you to put on your lab coat and ask you, what would you prescribe to solve these situations that we've just been talking about, to overcome these challenges? What's the medicine that we need?
There's no one size fits all, but generally speaking, it's important that corporations look at what the main thing is and keeping the main thing. Get down to basics about what do you want your customer service level to be. Do the math and figure out where it is that you can improve your organization, make it higher efficiency, where you need to automate. Then, secondarily, you want to essentially strategize before you digitalize. That's kind of a motto that I'd like to coin. Get your strategy straight, and then come to the marketplace and find the technologies that are going to accomplish that. The more you can articulate exactly where the problem is, and the remedies will be there. They will. This is a wonderful time to be alive, wonderful time for technology. We are in a renaissance of technology right now, coming fully into the digital age. But the strategy has to be right. Don't just throw money at technology. Know exactly what you want to get out of it and use it as a tool.
So here's the question, because it sounds like you may have already halfway answered it. Are you going forward optimistic or pessimistic?
I'm very optimistic. I'm a big believer in seeing reality as it is, not the way I want it to be. Not to see it worse than it is either. We have some challenges.
Yeah.
Interest rates, capital. It is going to be a difficult time, but we should not be in despair. This should be a time of, as I said, investing and making sure that we just sharpen our pencils and be smart, be strategic.
All right, Craig, a final question, because everybody knows something about Siemens, but they may not know specifically about your division, what it is you're doing in intralogistics. So just give them a little insight into what's going on there and how you are optimizing operations of your customer base.
Gotcha.
What do you say?
There's a lot there, but from a very high level view, we provide an infrastructure, an ecosystem of products, software and hardware. We provide a technology layer. We do all the heavy lifting of safety and networks and programming languages to get from operational technologies up through to the cloud in IT, informational technologies. So that OT to IT convergence, which is happening globally right now, Siemens has been working on this for decades. We've invested billions, with a B, into making sure that customers can solve their business problems with a technology layer, and we have it across the board. So we have a very broad product offering, a very vital and newly designed product offering. We continue to invest in that so that operations can be not only technology and data enabled, but open and agile for changes in the future.
Very hopeful, very interesting, exciting future coming about. Craig, I know you're busy here at the conference, but you found time to speak with us about this. Thank you very much.
All right, Russell, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Craig Henry, Siemens, speaking with us today about logistics and intralogistics and what to expect in those areas in 2023. Thanks for watching.